All right, traders. Hey, good morning. Welcome on back to close out our week this Friday, February 20th. Great to have Grant, Lawrence, Leda, Margaret, got Nabil, got Ray, got all of us here just joining us. Full house here this morning, live directly inside our live trading room. Great to have all of us there. All of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Popping up lower left in front of the avatar. Just subscribe right down below at cybertradingu. What's everybody up to this weekend? Leda, Grant, all of us here. What do you guys got going on for this weekend? Let me know in the chat board, at least, as we get some housekeeping notes to begin with. But hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's going to do well this weekend. Enjoy the nice weather, perhaps by you. If it's not nice out, hopefully it's just less cold. Right? Let's just be real, right? I think the Northeast is honestly supposed to get another big storm. What do they call that? Like the bomb cyclone or something like that. Something crazy. Wishing everybody well, at least. Now, with that in mind, Open ended up making a nice pop in the after hours last night. This thing took off from, I think, earnings. Nice stock. It's up decent enough this morning, up about like 15%. Can't really see that there on the top left. I'll put this back up in just a moment. But top left, you can see the percentage there, up 15 to 16% so far. We'll come back to this at least, right? But otherwise, we did really good yesterday. Had a couple of great trades to begin with on the IBRX, the Oxy trade, MSTR, SMCI. A lot of actually like name brand companies, if they're not like mega cap, super large cap. They're at least well-known companies that we've traded in the past. Kathleen with some decluttering. Okay, well, it's getting to be that time of the year, some spring cleaning and some early spring cleaning at that. It's better to get ahead of it, right, Kath? So wishing you well. Lauren says consulting side work job. All right. Got to get it done there too. Nabil with a barbecue. Ooh, what you grilling up there, Nabil? What you got going on for your barbecue this weekend? Roberto with some tennis, Andrea with some work. Our students just responding back to me just like from a moment ago, asking what everyone was up to this weekend. No snow for a few days, Grant. Oh, very nice. It's been brutal by you. I know that. So like that's a really good thing. Thankfully hear that. Now, at least though, we did have a couple of great trades from yesterday. Let me just get to that. Oh, my charts are frozen. Ha! Give me a sec. Of course, time the meeting here where my charts freeze up. Locking up here for a quick moment here, guys. So how about this? I'll read back at least what our students are responding back to me here. Margaret says, supporting FAU beach volleyball. Ooh, that's somewhat close to me, I think. Very nice, Margaret. Cool. Hopefully nice out for that. SMCI. Okay, so SMCI was a nice little push yesterday morning. It was just after the market had opened up. So just typical sideless stock that had moved early on yesterday. FIG, for as much as this dropped at the open, this was actually a good move from the after hours last night or the night before. It popped up from earnings and it did pull back quite a bit, but it did lead to a good slingshot. So thankfully, with the good news that came out, led to a strong recovery. This still might be in play for the market open this morning. So don't be surprised if we call it out at least afterwards. NAMM, this is a mineral stock that we did do well on back from about a month ago. Stock ended up making a pop and drop move for us back in January going into Feb. So once again, hey, it made a similar type of move. Ended up pushing up, and it's actually up even higher this morning. So I don't mind adding this to the morning list. But if it dumps back down, just don't be surprised, right? And it's still a small cap, low float stock likely that you can't really trust as far as you could throw. What else did we have from yesterday? IBRX, that was more in the afternoon, dropped off in the morning. Hey, real quick, we got phase 1 class coming up at 10:30 this morning. If you're a bronze level student, you got access to that. We'll post the link to that in just a moment. But what time's reversal time? What time do we normally expect reversals to kick in? Can't really teach right now, folks, but otherwise, quick little pop quiz, right? I think Margaret can tell I got my caffeine in me this morning, at least, right, Margaret? I was just chatting her from yesterday. 10:30, yeah, absolutely. And this was pretty much on the gun, 10:30, a minute off. Bing. And this was a beautiful mover going into the afternoon. If I was biased and if I was like just focused on Josh and like just selfish here, I'd probably put this on the list. But it's not up or down a lot going into this morning. If it's going to push up towards the highs, then I'll definitely call it out for everyone. But there might be other trades that look better for today. Rivian on the short side. So for as well as Rivian did a few days ago, right? Didn't Rivian have like good earnings? It popped up pretty nicely here. Yeah. Well, they ended up filling the gap all the way, almost all the way down. Probably have a little bit more room to go, at least going into the morning today. But otherwise, yesterday led to a pretty good drop off as a short. That the KLAR, Klarna, if you're familiar with like the payment company Klarna for all like the purchasing you could spend online. Well, they IPO'd back last year in September. Probably one of the worst IPOs I've seen in a long time. That and like Webull, I'd say. And no offense to Webull, it's just to say like that it's just not performing well, right? And you got to start to see higher highs if you're going to even consider a swing trade on something like that. Something like KLAR, well, never really saw the light of day. It just kept making lower highs across the board. And then yesterday just got crushed off earnings. So this is horrible. This is miserable of a trade right here. And I guess it is shortable. So it could have been a good short yesterday. I wasn't getting my hands on it myself, but it did drop off. We had it on our little list there. All right. So for the open today, no pun intended, but kind of. We got open, OPEN, right? So let me go back to Benzinga here. We'll just pull up the news on this one. Oh, and by the way, we're going to post also a link. If you had missed out yesterday, I think we had already posted it in the chat. I ended up tagging in for Fausto yesterday just with Bookmap. Did a nice little presentation on the Bookmap YouTube channel, so make sure to check that out. If you're inside our live trading room, we'll repost that link here in just a moment. Otherwise, if you're on social, certainly go over to the fine folks over at Bookmap, Bruce, Dan, Steven, all of them over there. They do a wonderful job, but I was over there yesterday on their channel giving a nice presentation. So open, what happened here? Got a bunch of headlines, forums, analysts, all that stuff. So earnings beat, sales beat, guidance? Any guidance? I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't show it in the headlines. Normally it does. So it's for right now guaranteed a double beat on their earnings. That's pretty good, right? We'll take it. And for right now, stock obviously is up for that reason. So going into the open today, obviously Open Door Technologies we'll just put on our list. Now, we'll just go from top to bottom right now, though, otherwise. So CDIO, this has been sluggish this morning. This thing was just kind of annoying after 8 o'clock. And it's not surprising why it was annoying. You got a brick wall of resistance right here, right? So, right at 345 or so, you got about 70,000 shares. Hey, it's holding good trend. It's on good volume, good liquidity. So it's more of like a category 1 or 2 stock right now, and goes on our list for right now. See if this could finally break out of the shell, but a little choppy. It's kind of annoying as a pre-market trade. Hopefully it does better after the open. All right, open at least here. I didn't really go into the trade specifics on this, so I'll just pull up Bookmap for this one here again. So open does have a nice iceberg on the buy side, kind of moving up and down, kind of like a hockey puck, moving across the order book like that. But for the time being, it's at 508. So just keep your eyes peeled on the bid here. And it seems like it's going to pull back into it. This line is from volume from the after hours. So big prints got filled pretty much right off the high here, and it held as resistance. Needs to re-break over it for the morning or for the afternoon here today. So you got support at 510 or 508, just about. And you definitely got resistance at that 542. All right, EVTV kind of dead. Indy here, it's going up a little bit. Let me just check out the daily chart. Lower highs, right? So it's kind of hard to trust this stock as far as like anything long-term or day to day. It's just flavor of the morning right now. It's going up a little bit, right? Hopefully more volume joins the order book, at least after the open. But if you want me to add this one, I will, at least Indy. I like the name Indy. I'll tell you why. I got a nice chicken place right around the corner from me, around here in Pinellas County in Florida. Indy's Chicken. They got some good stuff. So and spelled INDI. So I'll take that. All right, RXT stock that we are pretty familiar with. It did have a good pop one day this week, and then it was kind of choppy yesterday. So you can see on the daily chart, pre-market mover popped up, Wednesday morning, broke out after the open pretty nicely, but dumped back down. So just be careful there. For the open, it's at least up 12%, 13%. It's at least kind of holding here. Is it like watching the grass grow? Probably. I mean, let's just be honest. It's probably like watching the grass grow a little bit. So I'll rerun my scan here before we hop over to the loser side. Oh, we got one. Yeah, nice little late bloomer here, CDE or CDT, dyslexia, CDT equity. This thing just broke over $1 right now. It's pushing up pretty nicely. I'm just going to slip this on our watch list here too. All right, we'll even do that one more time before we finish up. You got a stock that's down like 50% and it's $50 a share. It's kind of weird. GRAL. Now, the thing on this one, we talked about this in news class just earlier this week in phase one. Let me pull this back up here. Just get my news headline here for GRAL. So GRAIL shares trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q4 results. Top line results for whatever trial. They're a pharma company, so they're doing a trial on a drug, right? And basically, it didn't meet its primary endpoint for it statistically significant stage 3 to 4 reduction. I don't know what phase they were in, if it was phase 1, phase 2, etc. But obviously, if they're not meeting their primary endpoints of any phase, it's going to get squashed like a bug. We talked about this just earlier this week, more in our classes. So it's at $50. Jeez, this thing's got support down at 30, 31. Good luck. For the open today, it goes right on our watch list. It's more of a category 4 or 5 trade, though. Order book's probably going to be pretty thin. So just be careful on it. It's more of a category 4 or 5, as I said. All right. And I'll tell you what, I'll go over to some sideless stocks right now. I know some financial data came out earlier today. A little drop, kind of a lower high type of thing here. Still, it's just kind of consolidating. Can't really tell too much here up until the market opens up. And even after that, we wait the first 5 minutes for all of our students here before we look to pull the trigger, jump into anything. Oh, wrong QR code. Oops. There we go. Leda, appreciate you. As always, simulcast on YouTube, Facebook, and inside our live trading room. But either way, folks, let me know if there's anything else looking good, up, down, left, right, more than 5% you'd want me to check out here just before we finish up. Anything else that I may have missed? Just saw a New York Giants background right there. I got to change that. That is not a good team. I got to get a better background. Now, with that said, though, at least what have we got? Anything looking good here? The CDIO might be trying to push. Have that already. None of these really I checked out earlier. The BATL was from, I think, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a good mover, but already pumped and dumped. I don't really trust it here just yet. It's kind of up 5%, don't get me wrong, but for the time being, we'll keep this on our side list. NVIDIA, Apple, that's down. Amazon, none of these looking that great here today. Netflix, I might have to get out on Netflix if the market pulls back here today because I had a good start on my trade, but listen, if it's not going to make that continued build, got to pull the trigger and get out. Same to be said with Zoom. Listen, if the market's dropped today, Zoom was hanging on by a thread the other day. So if it ends up breaking below like 88, I'm out. But otherwise, just got to keep your eye on the bull here today, this morning, folks. And for any trades that are kind of right at support, if it breaks it, get out, pull the plug. Better to take a small loss and move on with grace than to, hold on and then eat a huge loss later on and realize you got a giant ego. So it's just to say you got to learn at least ahead of time before it gets even worse. NVCR from Tim. Oh, actually above that, Roberto. I'm sorry. Not trading a lot of volume yet this morning, Tim, but I appreciate you posting the news. FDA approval. That's huge. Hopefully we see a lot better of a push on the stock or just trend volume. But I like the news at least. Kind of reminds me of the IBRX. You have the CDIO already there. That's looking beautiful. Hey, we don't need to build a big list when we got that. If that's going to really make that better push, then we'll take it, right? MLEC was from yesterday. pop and drop type of thing, this is going to have some pretty thin orders out there, thin volume, huge spread. So not too particular about that either way. If it shows some signs of life, maybe we'll call it out at our discretion, but we'll probably focus on stocks with better orders out there. Yeah, Tesla's just kind of doing its thing this morning, Prem Kumar, just kind of moseying around. I mean, this is kind of how Tesla normally looks, not to say down, but just kind of up a little bit, down a tiny amount, 1 or 2% perhaps. But we'll call it out with reason this morning. If it ends up making a better move up or down, always got to do a quick flyby on those stocks either way, right? Just to get a feel. And if any of them are looking great, then we will add them. But for right now, that's all right. All right, folks. Hey, I'll tell you what, I think that we're pretty much good to go here. And again, if you're inside our live trading room, we did post this just before I started the meeting. We'll repost this again, though, for you if you had missed out. There's the link. I was on Bookmap yesterday, their YouTube channel. So make sure to check this out. But otherwise, yeah, this is me yesterday on Bookmap. So again, that's on their YouTube channel specifically. Check them out on Bookmap. But otherwise, we posted that link for Tim, Prem Kumar, Lawrence, all of our students there. And we're going to post another link later on here today, folks. Again, we got class coming on up. So we got our phase 1 stock course, but that's not up until after we finish up this next hour of audio commentary. Just the market open, of course. I got to refill my bottle of water here, rewind the mouth, at least make sure I'm good to go. Motor mouth 11:10 this morning. But hey, for all of us on social, have a great weekend. We look forward to having you at least join us inside our live trading room over the course of time. But hey, join us for our next free live event. You can scan that QR code on the top left with your phone, with your camera. Otherwise, you can just go right down to that link right there. That's for next week with Fausto, 36+ year pro in the market, Fausto Pugliese. But that's a free event for you to just join us for next week with. All right. Hey, enjoy the weekend. We'll be back for you at least later on today at 2:30. Talk to you then.